Right when I'm about to turn, it goes bloop, bloop. I was like, bro, I'm like, I know he's not pulling me over. Like, I know he's not pulling me over. It's called Matt's Matters, because it matters. You heard? Well, hear it. Right here. Every week on Matt's Matters. Guys, what's up? Guys, welcome back to Matt's Matters. And we have had quite the start to our day today. I was supposed to see the Odyssey today, which did not happen because, it just didn't work out today. So, yeah, but why? Why was I able to see it? So basically, I was driving home last night I started volunteer wrestling coaching, which is fun. It's fun. It's nice to get it back on the mat. I wrestled for like 13 years, so it's nice to get back out there. But anyway, so I messed up my knee it was either playing pickleball, during wrestling, or at work. Like, one of the 3 days, it just hurt. I hurt it. So they said I like freaking bruised like my they said that I bruised the ligament, like some ligament in my knee. So they're like, just ice it and wear like a compression sleeve and you should be good. So I was like, okay. But yeah, so they're like, just do that and let us know like what happened. Like, let us know what happens. So I was like, okay, like I'll just do that and keep an eye on it. I'm trying to get my levels right, bro, on my microphone, because we don't want to be too loud, but we don't want to be too quiet, because there's some guy cutting his grass out there. So anyway, so I go to that, so I have to wear like a brace. So then I was driving home last night and my freaking like oil light came on, and it's been like a few months. I think I was like a month overdue for, like, less than a month due for oil change. But since I have an older car, I was like, all right, let me just get this oil change and just get it done. So I go there in the morning and they open at 8, so I get there at like 8:01, and they're like, they weren't really open yet. So I was like, okay. So I just waited, and they're like, oh, we got a new system, so we can't accept card payments. I was like, okay. So I was like, how much is it gonna be? I'll just go get the cash, and then I'll come back. I was like, no big deal. Like, stuff happens, what am I supposed to do? So I go get the cash, come back, and they're like doing it, and they're like, oh, you got like a transmission, like your transmission's leaking really bad. And I was like, that's what I noticed last night when I came home. So they're like, yeah, your transmission's leaking pretty bad. Like, your transmission pan is just like rotted and corroded. It's like all rusted out and rotted. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I was like, I kind of had a feeling this was coming. So they're like, yeah, your transmission level's really low too, so we'll put some transmission fluid in there for you. And they're like, oh wait, we actually don't have any. So I was like, okay. So I was like, how much is like it gonna be to get the pan fixed? And they're like, it's about to be $350, like you can bring it by Friday and we'll get it there. But I was like, that seems a little pricey. So I brought it to my other mechanic and he's gonna do it for me. So they're like, oh yeah, just go to Walmart, because I had to go to Providence to see the Odyssey, because I want to see it in 70 millimeter. Okay, because you guys know, like, I'm a video movie guy. Like, I like to see movies how they're meant to be made. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go to Walmart. It's up the street. So I'm driving, and like the freaking, when like the light is like yellow, but like you're already like close enough to where you can't stop, like, unless you just want to, like, or else I'd be out in the intersection if I stopped, because I wasn't even going that fast. I was going the speed limit, but I was like like I was already at the point where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna stop if this light's yellow. Like, I'm just gonna go through. So there's like a cop behind me, and like the person who was in front of me did the same thing. Like, we were like pretty close behind each other, so he did the same thing as me. So I get past, and I'm about to like turn into Walmart. And right when I'm about to turn, it goes bloop, bloop. I was like, bro, I'm like, I know he's not pulling me over. Because then the person in front of me also pulled to the side, but then he realized he was pulling me over. And we did the same thing, and he pulled me over. So I was like, whatever. It's like 9 a.m. at this point. So I'm like, okay, whatever, bro. So he pulls me over. He's like, I stopped you today. No, he's like, oh, how are you doing? I was like, good. And he's like, I stopped you because you went through that red light. I was like, it was yellow, and I like couldn't stop. Like, I was already going. Like, I couldn't stop. He's like, well, it was yellow, and it turned red. And in my head, I was just like, really? It went from yellow to red? Like, oh, that's how lights work. Like, So I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm just going to. He's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to Walmart. I need transmission fluid for my car because it has like 0. It was literally like the guy showed me the dipstick, and it was like this much in there. So I was like, I need like transmission fluid. Like, that's where I'm going. Like, I just came from the mechanics, and he said I need transmission fluid and a $350 repair. So that's where I'm going. So he's like, okay, I'll be back. Just give me your license and registration. Then he goes off. Then another cop pulls up. I'm like, And then he comes up. He like comes up. He looks at my like the front of my car. He doesn't say anything. He just looks at me. And I was just like, what do you want, bro? So he goes back and he comes back like 10 minutes later. He's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna give you a warning. Like you're good to go. I was like, okay. I was like, at this point, I'm gonna be late for the freaking movie. So I go in Walmart, put the transmission fluid in. So I'm driving to the movie theater, like Apple Cinema Complex, and I would like put in the correct one, like before I left. But then I accidentally put in there's one in Warwick and there's one in Providence. So I accidentally went to the Warwick one, and I was already like 6 minutes late for the movie. So I get there and he's like, "Oh, you're at the wrong theater." I was like, "Oh, you really?" So he's like, "You gotta go to Providence." So that I was like, "Okay, let me see if it's even worth going at this point because it's like 18." So I look. Of course, there's traffic, so it's 18 minutes away. I'm like, I'm just gonna go home. Like, I'm just gonna go home at this point. Like, it's like, this is not my day today. It's not my day. So I just go home. And there's like a bunch of traffic on the way home. And I'm like, bro, like, it's just, I'm trying to do something for myself. Like, I really want to see this movie. And it just didn't work out. It didn't work out. So that's where I'm going. That's how I'm doing right now. And then this week has just been, like, freaking so stupid. So. Monday, like I work at this driving range. I'm like the oldest person who works there. Like there's a bunch of like kids who work there, so I'm like supervising them, but like I'm not getting paid to supervise them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just getting paid the same as everybody else. There's always one guy. He's like freaking, we don't like to curse, but he's like bitching and moaning every time about me. But every time he sees me, he doesn't say anything to my face. It's like, what's the problem, bro? So he's like, so we had this like batting cage building, and he's like. So the other guy, like the owner's son or whatever, he's just like he's just a cornball. So he was like, he's like, oh, tell this kid to like, because the owner is his mom. So he's like, tell my mom wants us to like clean out this like building. So I was like, he's like, when the kid comes in at 12, tell him like what to do. I was like, okay, like, so I told him, I was like, here, take the shop vac. Go to the building and vacuum all the webs and stuff up. He's like, I was like, you're good? Like, you know how to do this? Like, dude, I don't need to show you anything else. You're good? He's like, yep, I'm good. So he goes and does it. Then before I leave, and this point, I leave at 2. I get paid 6 to 2, like straight 6 to 2. That's the time frame I get paid in. So it's like 2:01, and I'm about to leave, and he calls me. He's like, oh, check how the kid did. I was like, bro, like, are you going to pay me to check how the kid did? Because I don't feel like it. So I go over there to check on it, and it's like, I mean, he got majority of it, but there's still some areas that need to be touched up. So he's like, oh, yeah, So I was like, oh, yeah, I just told him to go over it again. So then this other guy comes in later, and this guy gets paid, like, freaking $20 an hour, and he's, like, the supervisor, and, like, he really does all he does is watch his phone. But he's a nice guy, but he's just, like, sometimes he's just, like, bro, you're getting paid $20 an hour. So then he's, like, all pissy, like, I don't know if it's that time of the month for him or something, but he's, like, oh, this is not, like, done correctly, like, you gotta show him to, like, put the filter in the vacuum. Like, you're not paying me enough money to hold hands for these, like, freaking 14 and 15-year-old kids. Tell them everything what to do. Like, you're just not. I'm only here 3 days a week. Like, you're not paying me to be a supervisor. You expect me to be a supervisor, then pay me to be a supervisor. So I was like, whatever, like, I'm just going home. Like, I stayed, like, 13 minutes after to help this kid. And then, like, right when I leave, you start talking shit. So it's like, just say it, like, if you, like, every time he has an issue with me, he never says it to my face. So yeah, that's how my week's going on this Tuesday. But I did officially register for EMT classes, so that's good. So yeah, we'll be starting that soon. I'm not sure the start date yet, but we'll see. It should be soon, I think. But yeah, it's just like, what a week. But anyway, so we got a couple things that I would like to talk about today. So obviously last week we talked about the vaccines. So there's been U.S. school vaccinations rates inched down yet again, and exceptions reach record high. So New York, U.S. kindergarten vaccines rates inched down again last year, and the share of children with exemptions rose to an all-time high according to federal data posted Monday. The fraction of kids exempted from vaccine requirements rose from 4.2% up from 3.6% the year before. This estimated 155,000 children nationally during the 2025-2026 school year. So obviously this comes with like them cutting down the vaccine requirements. So the CDC reported that 92.4% of 2025 to 2026 kindergartners got their required measles, mumps, rubella shots down slightly from the previous year before the COVID-19 pandemic. The vaccination rate was 94%. So that the level that makes it unlikely that a single infection will spark a disease cluster or outbreak. Vaccination rates fell for polio, for the combination shot again, tetanus, and pertubent, whatever medicate. This is right here is a medical term that we don't know yet, so we're just gonna know it. And for the first dose of vaccine of chickenpox. So obviously, like if you watched last week. So the thing that I'll be interested in seeing is in the next gotta take my ice off my neck quick. So the thing that I'll be interested in seeing is how if there's an increase in infections and things like that over the next few years. How these vaccines that they're cutting down, are those diseases going to come back, and could there be a better chance of an outbreak? I mean, the vaccination rate is still 92%, so that's still a high number, and they said that there can't be any other, they said that there can't be freaking pickleball job that I'm leaving soon, bro. Another place that does not appreciate me for the amount of work I do. It's what am I supposed to do? I don't want to I literally can't play pickleball. I literally can't play. I literally freaking destroyed my knee. I can't play pickleball. But anyways, I'm getting old, guys. What the hell? But so it's gonna be interesting. So they said the amount of vaccines, it's still high rate of kids that are still getting it. So therefore, there shouldn't be no worries about an outbreak or from a single diagnosis. So that was one of the things I just want to give you guys an update on. The other thing that we need to talk about is, let's see, so obviously the flock cameras. So there's been a lot of backlash from authorities abusing these cameras and using them to track their exes. And the flock camera is the speed camera, the toll camera. It's the company that makes the highway cameras. You get a ticket in the mail because you're going too fast, which I've never got. They never catch me lacking, bro. This is the first time I ever got pulled over, and I wasn't even lacking. The cop, it was 50-50. He could have pulled me over. He could have not pulled me over, but he decided to pull me over. So he was chill, though, so we'll give him a pass, bro, because, the police in this retirement town, bro, that I live in, really are pulling me over. But whatever. So, yeah, so the flock cameras, there's been a lot of protest about them because there was actually an officer here close to where I live in New Bedford she was misusing the flock cameras. And in Georgia, there was 3 guys who got arrested for misusing them. So let's see what is going on with this real quick, guys.
Changes to stop police officers from abusing the technology. That's exactly what a New Bedford police officer allegedly did, using the camera system to stalk an ex-girlfriend. WBZ's Logan Hall is live for us in New Bedford with more on what's happening there.
Yeah, Ken, that's right. Good evening. Flock cameras have sparked controversy around the nation, raising concerns about public safety and surveillance. It's all taking stage right here in New Bedford now, where a New Bedford police officer is accused of using flock technology to track her ex-girlfriend.
Get out of the way, please get out of the way.
Any comment on how you use the flock cameras? New Bedford police officer Emily Pacheco leaving court after a protective hearing on Thursday. She's accused of using flock cameras to track the location of her ex-girlfriend.
Flock can have only up to a 2-minute delay, so it's almost close to real time. We won't call it real.
I mean, here's a problem I have with this. People already have trust issues with the I thought I was muted for a sec. So people are already have trust issues with authorities, and then now you got these people in here saying oh yeah, we're just gonna, they're so people already have trust issues with the authorities. Okay, so now we're finding out that they're using these cameras for their own personal use to track people. I mean, I do think that the flock cameras are a great tool to use. They say, if someone steals your car or someone kidnaps a kid, they can just use, it takes them seconds to find out where that car is going, the path they're going on, to track down your stolen vehicle or the kid that has gone missing. So for that, it's good. It's definitely a good tool. There's so many cameras around that it's so easy to find your lost car, or if someone gets kidnapped or missing person and stuff like that. But then you find out that these authorities are just abusing the power. And the company, so I think it's after 31 days that the footage gets wiped. if it's like not like for a case or anything like that, like if they deem it not necessary. So that was the original policy, but now the Flock company has come out and said we suggest that it should be like 7 days, because they found like the data shows that these crimes usually get solved before 7 days if it has to do with a stolen car, like a missing person, stuff like that, if it's like a Flock camera is involved. So let's continue.
2 minutes is pretty close.
In Thursday's hearing, Pacheco's ex-girlfriend said the New Bedford Police Department reached out to her about an internal affairs investigation into her license plate being tracked a concerning number of times, asking her if she felt like she was being followed. Pacheco denies using Flock technology to track her ex's whereabouts.
Did you use the Flock system in your capacity as a New Bedford police officer?
Yes,
How often did you use it?
daily.
The New Bedford Police Department has now suspended its use of Flock technology, saying in part, quote, Flock can be a valuable investigative tool, but we also recognize that technologies like this raise...
So see, like, yeah, so it's there. People are worried that like our data is getting freaking like tracked, like they're tracking us using these cameras, and now it's coming out that we don't like, and we didn't know.
legitimate questions about privacy, access, information sharing, and oversight. It's the latest accusation of officers abusing the surveillance technology, prompting Flock to roll out new safeguards, including lowering the period of time it holds onto data from 1 month to 1 week.
So yeah, I mean, I already like something I already mentioned. Like it used to be 1 month they could hold on to the data. Now it's gonna be 7 days. Which, I mean, I think that so sometimes there might be a case where it's like, okay, we don't know if this is really like useful yet, so if they wipe it, then they could be losing stuff, because then there's people abusing the technology. So it's just like, what is happening? So this is like this is the other story that I want to talk about. The Georgia guys who got arrested for using the cameras, like freaking tracking their exes. So this was from let's see, the 12th, so last week. So but it relates to what we're talking about. So 3 ex-Georgia deputies are arrested over using Flock cameras to stalk people. The former Bibb County deputies were arrested this week amid a growing national debate over Flock cameras, which can be found on roads in every state but Alaska. 3 former Georgia sheriff deputies have been arrested on charges that use Flock cameras to stalk people. The latest case to raise concerns about potential abuse involving the widely used network of license plate readers. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office said in a statement that an internal audit conducted with the help from Flock revealed that the deputies had used the camera system license plate data for personal non-law enforcement purposes. All 3 were involved in separate incidents, tracking people with whom they had a personal relationship at the time, the sheriff's office said. The deputies were arrested on Monday on charges that included stalking, prohibited use of license plate data, and violation of their oaths as public officers. They have since been released on bond. So, I mean, that's kind of messed up. Like, you're just tracking people. Like, so 2 of the charged, Tony Lewis and Conzavian Stubbs, resigned from their position as patrol deputies during the investigation, and the 3rd, Joseph Calloway, resigned as a K-9 deputy shortly after his arrest, the officer said. So all three officers resigned. I was saddened by it, Sheriff Davis said in an interview on Wednesday. Each one of these deputies were good deputies who had been here for several years and were doing a good job. However, they made some poor decisions and crossed the line. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, it's a very interesting thing to see how people act when they get placed in position of power. Like, it's so tempting. Like, you can use this resource to really track people. Like, it's the same thing when, like, an officer crosses the line using, like, excessive force. They're like, oh, I'm, like, in the power. Like, I have the power in this position, so I can do what I want. Like, I am the law. Like, there's not going to be any backlash. Like, there's that cop who... So, there's a state trooper who punched an 18-year-old girl. So, this might be a little disturbing for some viewers, so... just look away if you like. But he literally said, like, oh, if I punch you right now, like, what's stopping me from punching you in the face right now?
Do not resist. Do not resist.
I need to call Mama.
No. Stop.
But I need to... Stop. What am I doing? Oh, no.
Stop.
You think... Oh, my God, this is illegal.
One
I need
resisting.
to call my mama.
I don't give a Turn
I
around.
didn't even do
Turn
It's illegal.
Turn around.
See, like, she's like, stop resisting. Then he freaking takes her and tosses her to the ground. Like, he's like, this is a big guy, and she's pretty small, and she's 18, and he's just like, oh, I arrested her because she had an attitude, and then he just throws her to the ground. Like, he's like, stop resisting. Like, she's literally just standing there. Like, she's literally standing there. Like, and he was like, I mean, I don't want to show this full video because, you know, but she's like, oh yeah, like, yeah, if I punch you, like, what's gonna happen? Like, nothing. So I think he's on leave without pay the last time I checked, but I don't know what the update is on that. Let's see. So the newest article I could find in like the moment was this one, and he said that he still remains on active duty, which is just, that's really great. That's just great. So yeah, but then back to like the flock cameras. See, this is why it's important to have cameras so that you can hold like these officers accountable for when they do cross the line, because it's like, this is what happened. Like, imagine, I mean, obviously we know the history of like abuse, like cops abuse on minority communities, and now we're seeing that, okay, so now it's more on cameras now, so now these people are going to start being more held accountable. So the Massachusetts case, so she allegedly used flock cameras over 200 times while tracking her ex's car. Like, you're at work, like, you're supposed to be helping, you're a servant of the people, and you're over here tracking your girlfriend who broke up with you because you're salty that she broke up with you. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is why people have problems with the police, because we're paying you, our tax monies are paying you, and then it comes out that you guys are abusing technology that's meant to help us. Like, this makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. So yeah, there was a flock. I made a shirt and I posted on like TeePublic, and it said, "Get the flock out of here." And then they banned me because they said I was violating the terms and conditions. But then there's like so many other shirts on there that are like way worse than that. But I was like, I guess they just didn't like that. So that was interesting. But yeah, there's been some protest. And then, so the other day when I was driving, I saw like these people holding like signs that said like "Honk to Free Palestine," which is like, okay, it's good that you're spreading awareness, but like, I get it, but at the same time, like I feel like you're not standing out there for the cause. You're standing out there for yourself to make yourself feel better about the cause. You know what I'm saying? Like donate some, like, there's just other things you could do to me. And I mean, I did honk though, because, you know, like, but it was just like kind of like, okay, like, it's just not, it's just, I don't know, guys. So yeah, there was some protest. I don't know, let's see, there was some protest over these flock cameras. See,
all right, a fight breaking out at a protest against.
See, they love to bro. The news loves nothing more than to show fights during a peaceful protest. Like, they just love seeing, like, oh, this was a violent protest. Like, when the whole ICE protests were going on, they're like, look how violent this is. Like, they don't show when everyone's peaceful. They only show, they just start with the violence. Like, what news station is this? No, this is The Hill, but like, they just love, the media loves to like make us think like, oh, these people protesting this are like idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. So we're just gonna show them fighting with each other. But yeah, it's just like, the media loves that. The media loves dividing us against each other, guys.
Flock cameras in Fargo, North Dakota this weekend. Now the company behind these license plate reading systems saying that it's rolling out some new safety measures following some public backlash. NewsNation's Ryan Bass joins us now from St. Petersburg, Florida. Ryan, you're in a city that has been at the center of this week's backlash over flock cameras. What are you hearing and seeing there?
Yeah, Alicia, actually, one of these flock cameras is right here behind me on this street. You can actually see it right there, the little solar panel and the camera that's pointed right down the road here. That is what we're talking about. We have about 50 of those flock cameras here in St. Petersburg alone. And we've really seen this debate heat up here in this city specifically. We had a protest that happened over the weekend here in St. Pete that featured about 100 people that were coming out in protest of these cameras that are reading license plates across the city. But it's not just here in Tampa Bay that we've seen this. This is growing backlash to these flock cameras. In Fargo, North Dakota, you just showed that video. A protest against them actually turned physical over the weekend, with people on opposite ends of the political spectrum coming to blows, even though they were...
Let's go back. So, obviously, date is saved for 7 days. A normal search is flagged. Users can be locked out. More control over data sharing, which is kind of like what it took them to realize. But so there's... these are like all the flock cameras in the United States. So there's just like, look how many cameras there's so many cameras. Like, obviously in more populated areas there's more. I know some states like don't have them in certain towns because it's like it's considered like you know, like they say this is unconstitutional, you can't be tracking us like this. So that's why they're kind of putting like the blowback. They're receiving a lot of blowback saying like, oh, you're just handing this technology over to the authorities and they're abusing it. So that's when it's becoming an issue, like which we've been seeing. So a lot of backlash, guys. Backlash, word of the D. Backlash.
20,000 flock cameras are monitoring roads across 7,000 cities nationwide. But there's growing public outrage over privacy concerns.
I think more people need to be really angry about these flock cameras creating this mass surveillance system in the United States.
There have also been multiple reports of police misuse, including a former cop who pled guilty to a charge for using the cameras to track his ex-girlfriend more than 170 times. In response to the criticism, Flock unveiling what it calls a major overhaul to its protocols.
If you sell power, you owe the public the guardrails.
Founder and CEO Garrett Langley announcing that data will now only be stored.
This guy looks like Mark Zuckerberg, like just very robotic.
7 days instead of 30 for new customers. Police will also be required to enter an active case number before running a plate, and any questionable use of the system will be automatically flagged.
A camera doesn't care who you are. This reads a license plate of a vehicle. This moves us more towards an objective version of policing.
Langley says the system's crime-fighting record speaks for itself, but acknowledges the public's concerns about personal data.
Over 1 million crimes were solved last year, and roughly 1,025 missing people were detected last month, July alone.
So if the cost of having flock cameras in your community to catch the bad guys is that the good guys will get their license plates scanned as well, what's your response to that? Because people are concerned that that's mass surveillance.
Yeah, the thing that I would ask them is, how many people have you talked to who've been the victim of a crime? To me, their privacy matters too.
While police departments nation...
What? You didn't even answer the question. But yeah, so I don't think there's any in my neighborhood, but I mean, it's like pros and cons. Like, okay, if they're just like tracking you and you're like going from your house to work, like who cares? Like, what are they gonna do? Like, I mean, I guess you just have to be worried about them getting hacked and like your location and like your habits getting out, because you know people are crazy out there. But it's like I think it is a good tool to like solve crimes. Like I really do think it's like beneficial, like especially if your car gets stolen and like you're like, oh man, like my car got stolen, like what, like my car just got stolen. And like you would want them to find it as soon as possible. You would want them to be like, well, we can try to find it. It might turn up, but like with these cameras, it just turns up instantly. So everything has pros and cons, guys. So there was one other story that I wanted to talk about today. Let's see. So we got the Navy ship, which has been circulating in the news, and there's a shooting at Virginia State University. We're running a little long today, guys, because of our rant in the beginning. But so let's do. We'll do the Virginia State shooting first, and then that'll probably be our last topic of the day. We're covering a lot of grounds today. So there was a shooting over the weekend at Virginia State University. The suspect in Virginia State, like imagine you drop your, first of all, so you drop, and it was a person like outside of the school. Like, why is there someone outside of the school with a gun just walking around campus? Like, and they said they heard like 100 shots, like but like, I don't think there will ever be peace in this country until we put some more heavy regulation. Just get rid of the guns. Like, why do you need a gun? Why? Like, I need to protect myself from the tyranny of this government, because the Democrats, they're gonna come and they're gonna take all my guns, all right? And I'm not gonna be defenseless. But if we don't have guns and the cops don't have guns, like, we'll be good. We'll literally be good. That's why, if you guys ever watch Paradise, bro, the dude, Well, he doesn't get rid of guns, but he wipes away all technology. Like, all technology is useless. But imagine a world without guns. Like, do you think there'd be, like, I don't know, but how much difference would there be? Like, even when people fight now, like, they just freaking pull out their gun and shoot you. Like, you don't even throw your hands or anything. You're just, like, shooting right away. Like, why? Why do you literally a gun is way too powerful for some of the people who have one to actually have one. Like, you can literally take someone's life. Like, at least if you back in the day, whatever, before there's all these guns around, like, people just fight. Like, they would hit each other. Like, they wouldn't freaking go right to the gun. But, so yeah, Virginia State University, guys. So, like, imagine you drop your kid off at school. And, like, obviously, like, we know that cell phones in a crisis when everyone's trying to get on the data, like, your cell phone's going to fail you. It just is. Like, there's going to be too many people trying to use a signal, get a signal. And you're going to be sitting there and you're not going to be able to get a signal. But that's just kind of why cell phones are unreliable sometimes. So, a 19-year-old man has been arrested as a suspect in the shooting of 5 people at Virginia State University after he was found hiding in a closet in someone's dorm room. So, according to Chesterfield County Police, officers were called on the 3,300 block of Besseau Street at 1:28 a.m. Saturday, August 15th for a reported shooting. So, this is like freaking... Jeez, I did not realize that this was at 1:30 in the morning. When officers arrived, they find 5 people with gunshot wounds outside the university's dormitories. One victim, who was initially described as having life-threatening injuries, is now in critical conditions, officials said. And then, like, they just literally started, like, running. So, like, look, these are young people, bro. A 21-year-old, 23, 19, a 17-year-old non-student, and then one student got hurt. So according to police, what was, how did this happen? Like, what was the story? So yeah, the investigation remains ongoing. So it'll be interesting to see, like, why this shooter did this, and, like, why were these people on campus at, like, late time at night, like, So just, I mean, a lot of people don't take school shootings seriously until it happens to, like, someone or it happens to you, because you're like, because of the amount of school shootings that have happened since I've been born. Like, let's see if we can find this. So since 2002, there's 19 school shootings, 33, 35, 30, 52, 52. Like, so there's been a lot of school shootings. Like, there's been, like, a number that is from several hundred to over 1,000. Like, that's just insane. That's literally insane. So because someone who was born in 2002, like me, are like, school shootings, like, I hate to say this, but it's become like a normal thing. So when you see it on the news, like, oh, you see the parents crying, like, oh yeah, we give you our prayers, and then 2 days later, it's like everyone forgets about it. But the people who don't forget about it are the people who were involved in it. Like, it's just very sad that this has become a normal thing. And there's so many, like, bad, sad stories out there that we just have become numb to them. So, I mean, it's just getting ridiculous. Like, little five-year-olds, like, any, like, young human being is getting killed because we need guns for what? That's just sad. So, yeah, there's just a lot going on, guys. So we got a lot of stuff to cover today. And yeah, we didn't really get too political, so that's good for once, because, we didn't say freaking all the time, and we didn't talk about, we just, we covered a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening, so I've been doing some research, guys, so, we've been getting into it. So yeah, this is a long episode today, guys, so hope you guys stick around and enjoyed it, and yeah, we'll catch you next week, and hopefully the rest of this week chills out for us. But you guys will see me on Thursday at 12, our normal time, and we'll see if any of these stories that I share with you guys, you can, after you watch the episode, you can check them out, see if there's any updates, whether it's like the officer in Arkansas, the Virginia State shooting, the flock camera investigation, like anything like that. Just feel free to look it up, and you can always comment on the videos if you want to discuss any of the issues further. But yeah, so hopefully I don't go through a yellow light again and get pulled over, but whatever. And I'll see the Odyssey eventually, guys, because I do really want to see it. But at this point, it's giving just wait till it comes out and not see it in the way it was meant to be seen. But yeah, so we will catch you guys next week. This has been, check out my short film Margie, because she's going through it right now, so she needs the love and support. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. This has been another edition of Matt's Matters, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.